Lesson 16, student page 88. Solving and graphing inequalities joined by and, or. Solve w squared equals 121 for w. Graph the solution on a number line. Well, I think we remember that when we solved this before that we knew that w, the square root of w squared, would give us an answer. But the problem with it is that it gave us two answers. It gives us w equals plus or minus 11. It's not so hard to do. We just graph that, nice number line. Okay, and put a 0. I'm not going to worry about too many of the details, but 11 and negative 11. I'm going to try to make this space virtually the same amount. And we're going to put a dot on each of those places. Solid dot, it's an equal. There's no less than or greater than, and that's why we're not shading. Now, this totally changes in question in part B. W squared is less than 121. All right, for W, we're solving again. Graph the solution on a number line. Here is a perfect place to do some testing. So the thing is that 11 squared would be 121, and we have to be less than that, and negative 11 squared would be 121. So we kind of know where it's not. We're thinking not at negative 11 and not at positive 11, as close as we can get, but not right there. So let's go ahead and we'll give an open dot saying we're coming up to these two values, but we're not going to graph them. Now the question is, what should we graph? Well, I don't know. Shall I test 5? 5 squared is less than 121. Well, yeah, 5 squared is. 25 is less than 121. If I change that to, say, negative 6 squared, is that less than 121? Let me divide this. There we go. And negative 6 squared, that's positive 36. And yep, that's still less than 121. So it looks like 5 works. We could have a solid line here. And it looks like negative 6 works. Would 0 work? 0 squared less than 121? Yeah. So we can feel very safe about filling in this distance here. Now, if we're feeling suspicious, we could try 12. Let's see, 12 squared. 12 squared is 144. And of course, we're looking for less than, and 144 is not less than 121. So we're not going to be able to take 12. That's outside our range anyway. If you think about it, negative 12 is going to do the same thing to us, so we're done. We can stop right there with that one. Example B, we looked at cases that were less than 121, and now we got to look for greater than or equal to. So the difference is going to be we're going to have a solid dot, and now we want numbers that are bigger. When we tested 12, we were bigger. We know that everything in between is too small. Negative 12 would negative 12 quantity squared, would that be greater than or equal to 121? 144 greater than or equal to 121. That's the truth. So it turns out that the outside values, the value here and the value up here, so we have a very good idea of what our graph could look like. It's going to look just like this. Give ourselves a 0. Oh boy, I was kind of sloppy. I should put a 0 up here too. And then we can say negative 11. And we know it's negative 11 is the basis of this because that's where the square root of 121 is. And then we said we're going to get to have a solid dot. Oh, here's a nice color. Solid dot, shade down. because we know negative 12 works and it's to the left of negative 11. And we know positive 12 is to the right of 11, and it's in one of our ones. And we also have excluded this middle that doesn't work at all. Graph the solution on a number line and write the solution set as a compound inequality. I haven't done that. So the compound inequality would be, let's see, W, whoops, it's a W. Let me make that a W, sorry. All right, so the compound inequality would be W is less than or equal to negative 11, or W is greater than or equal to positive 11. And you know what? I didn't put the compound inequality here either. Your teacher needs to learn how to read. So this compound inequality would be W is between no greater than, because we, or excuse me, just the less than symbols, because we have no equal sign here. The bottom of our range is negative 11 and the top of our range is positive 11. All right, now we have some answers worth talking about. Whoops, way to wipe your answer out. Okay, there we go. Quickly solve x plus 7. Here we go. Another one of these ones with some stuff missing. X plus 7 quantity squared equals 121 for x. Well, if we square root both sides, what we find out is that x plus 7 equals the square root of 121, which is plus or minus 11. Now, let me just, hold on, I'm going to switch colors real quick so you can see what I did. My brain was thinking, let me go ahead and square root both sides. I square rooted here and I square rooted here. So that's where the x plus 7 came from, and the plus or minus 11. Now you notice we have an or here. This could, because x plus 7 could equal positive 11, or it could equal negative 11. So we've got to deal with two possibilities. X plus 7 is either 11, or x plus 7 is negative 11. So if we're going to solve, x plus 7 minus 7, there's a zero pair, equals 11 minus 7, x equals 4. Bada boom, bada bang, 1. Or x plus 7 minus 7 equals negative 11 minus 7. X equals negative 18. Did that pretty quick. I wish I was quicker, but okay. And we're going to graph this on a number line. That's not so hard. Nice number line. Now notice, this is interesting. This really comes up with something very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and graph the 0, and I'm going to graph my 4 and my negative 18. Now, what would be interesting is to think about where my 11 and my negative 11 were. Negative 11 and 11. And, okay, let me go back to this. First of all, dot on here, negative 18 and 4. You notice we have a drop down of 7, minus 7, and we have a drop down of minus 7. Well, that's what we did to both sides. It makes sense. But anyway, the solution set is x equals 4 and x equals 19. The green is extra. The dots are important. Use your work from part D to quickly graph the solution on a number line in each inequality. All right. Sorry, just putting in these missing parentheses. All right, so we already know that negative 18 and 4 are our boundaries. We established that up here. We have an open sign. We have no equals, so we're going to write open. I'm going to flap a 0 on here so I have it. Now we need to be less than 121. So things that stay less than are within the boundary. Oh, I need a nice number. I should have another color. Oh, that's not another here. Let's try this one. So let's go open dot. And let's slide on up with another color. We want to stay in between. That means here, x plus 7 is greater than 121, that quantity squared. That means its answers are outside of what we knew before. So still negative 18, 0, 4. But let's go ahead and take and show outside. And one other thing to take into consideration, we have an equal sign. So solid dot, and we're going to go outside the values. We're going to go below to pick much bigger numbers and above to satisfy the conditions. If we think about it, 5 here would be 5 plus 7, that's 12. 12 squared is 121. I like these answers.